Les Robinson's NC State game plan is simple. Get the ball to senior guards Chris Corciani and Rodney Monroe, known as Fire and Ice. Meanwhile, Coach K's Duke 5 has mirrored his determination to win. As the ACC race heats up, Duke takes a run at the Wolfpack next.
For North Carolina State against Duke from Raleigh. And this is a floor that Les Robinson brought back. It was last used during the 73-74 season. It replaces the synthetic surface they've used for the last 17 years. He's trying to relight the fires here, bring back a lot of the traditions. Thomas Hill working outside. Leitner from inside the three-point line. Feggins for the rebound for NC State. Corciani pushes it up. What a brilliant career he has had as a point guard.
A lot of people didn't think he'd be able to play at this level. They questioned his speed. He has really shut down the critics.
Feggins leans in. He'll draw a foul.
They have to get some point production out of Feggins and Thompson. They just can't rely on the big three. Gugliotta, Monroe, and Corciani. There's the drive. There's the rotation over defensively. Leitner comes over to close the angle, but there is the foul.
Foul call on Antonio Lang, his first. And Feggins will go to the free throw line, a place he loves to be. 30 out of 33 this year, shooting over 90%.
He told me down in the locker room he was watching that Indiana-Ohio State game. He said he was really excited with the comeback by Indiana.
Dick, how do you turn it around like he has? Last year, as a freshman, shot 55% and then does 90 this year.
Well, I think number one, confidence, playing time. Last year, you're a role player, and now you're going to start, so you're going to get more attempts, and that means more practice time.
Great rotation, great touch on the shot. 2-0 North Carolina State.
Man-to-man defense. I think we'll see North Carolina State play some zone tonight.
McCaffrey lost it on the way up, but Thomas Hill recovers, and McCaffrey gets the jumper. We're tied at 2.
Wide open shot by McCaffrey. You have to really get a hand in his face. He's too good a shooter to give him a good look at the basket.
Thompson outside.
Duke played that great man-to-man defense in the second half against North Carolina.
McCaffrey on Monroe. He can shoot it inside. He can shoot it outside. He can shoot it sidearm. Missed that one.
2-on-1. Watch the bounce pass. There it is. Oh!
What great anticipation by Corciani, the ACC all-time leader in steals, with those great quick hands. Here's a travel on Hurley.
Corciani has a chance to break the all-time assist record in the NCAA, held by Sherman Douglas. Now, there's the right intention, the bounce pass, but great anticipation, as you said, Mike, by Corciani.
Corciani has 861 career assists. Nobody in the ACC has ever had more. Look at him go by Hurley and all the way down the lane.
Oh, what a play.
Followed by Gugliotta. There will be no basket. It looked like the foul was on Leitner.
He just broke the defense right down. Les Robinson cheers.
He's done this for 4 years.
He did it off a great change of direction. Now he splits the defense. He gets right into the seam. Now he has great vision. He knows there's a trailer. What a tremendous penetration move.
Now Thompson will go to the line, and in contrast to Feggins, he's shooting 44%.
I was teasing him down in the locker room. I said, you don't get the ball enough. You don't get the ball. He said, my time will come.
Good shot there, and it's 3-2 NC State. Talking about Corciani, no major college player has ever had 1,000 assists. If he averages just about what he averages right now, he'll make it, and that is an incredible number if you like statistics in college basketball.
The record's held, as I said, by Sherman Douglas of
960.
Syracuse, 960.
4-2 NC State. Hurley guarded by Corciani.
Two solid point guards going head-to-head.
Thomas Hill for 3. He's had a couple incredible games off the bench, and he gets the start tonight. Gugliotta, he can shoot it. Thompson Thompson, offensive rebound. Nice head fake and he scores.
That's what they need. They need an active performance inside out of Thompson from the weak side with the good offensive rebound.
He averages 7.5 a game. Gugliotta, the leading rebounder, nearly 11 a game. And here is a slap foul on Gugliotta.
Now that slap was Corciani. I really believe they got Corciani for that one, Mike.
No, they called Gugliotta.
They get Gugliotta for it.
Keep track very closely of the North Carolina State fouls because Les Robinson has nobody to go to. If he had his druthers, he'd play 5 guys all night.
I was talking in the locker room with Corciani about fatigue, and he said late in the game they get a little bit tired and it affects their shot.
Leitner with that soft touch, 6'4", State.
Right now, early in the game, Duke is getting some really good wide-open shots.
Monroe with a 3 and a runner. Is he something?
He's going to be a scorer in the NBA. I know a lot of people question whether or not he has the size to play the off-guard slot. He's just a born scorer.
He had 48 against Georgia Tech. Leitner turnaround jumper baseline, got it.
They're trying to double-team Leitner to get the ball out of his hands. He's an excellent passer.
Monroe averages 28.3 points a game.
I hope Billy McCaffrey got a good night's sleep.
Yeah, he's got a chance to catch David Thompson. This is the other Thompson. Offensive rebound and the follow by Gugliotta.
Gugliotta has really made himself a player. He has worked on all his different skills on its walking violation.
Leitner tipped outside. Gugliotta on the run. He used to be a guard in high school. Corciani back. Monroe gets the bucket, and it's 13-6.
Great start for North Carolina State. They needed the momentum to get the crowd into the game. That was a tremendous look by Corciani.
Jumper by McCaffrey just inside the line. 13-8. Quickly, Thompson. Nice pass by Fegans.
They're running a fast break drill layup here situation. It's almost like a fast break drill in practice.
Les Robinson wants to play an up-tempo game. This team is averaging 97 points. McCaffrey with a leaner.
He has scored on a simple curl move off a double screen right there and a simple pop out off a stack formation.
McCaffrey has 6. The lead is 5.
They have to get out on McCaffrey a little quicker over the top of that screen.
There's a screen for Corciani. Blows by Hurley. Had the ball knocked out of bounds.
Hurley had the great performance defensively against Kenny Anderson because he beat him to the ball. Right now, Corciani is beating him to the basket.
Mike Krzyzewski will go to his bench with 4 new players. We'll check out the lineup when we come back.
We're going to see a tremendous pass right here. We're going to see an unbelievable performance. We watched Gugliotta reverse the ball. Gets it in the hands of Corciani. He anticipated. He knew exactly where his offensive teammate was. He has great vision, and you can see why. He's one of the better assist players of all time. He will break that record. 863. Sherman Douglas, you are number 2, baby. You become right now Avis because he's going to be hurt.
That 863 includes the 2 he already has tonight. The other record they're tracking here in Raleigh is Rodney Monroe's pursuit of the all-time record at North Carolina State, and that's David Thompson's scoring record. It looks like he'll get that.
You mentioned one of my favorite players of all time in college basketball.
Boy, wasn't he ever?
Oh, he was something else. In that video I told you I did, I picked my all-time superstars in the history of college basketball, and you'd have to think really tough about a better small forward in college than David Thompson of all time.
Certainly he had his problems in the pros and never showed what he could do, but in college he was unbelievable. Kubek into the ballgame, misses the layup on the 4-on-1. Monroe back the other way.
Kubek played so well against North Carolina.
Fegans got the roll.
Fegans and Thompson are playing well, Mike.
4 for Fegans at 17-10. Quickly back the other way. This is Brian Davis into the game for the first time. Grant Hill wearing a face mask to protect the broken nose. Davis with a runner. Gugliotta just tipped it and knocked it out of bounds.
Mike Krzyzewski substituted and brought in 4 new players, I think basically to send a message to his guys that he was unhappy with their performance defensively, that he didn't see the effort getting back defensively in transition. He said, now you sit and we get new people on the floor.
Hurley comes outside, Corciani on him.
Keeps Hurley out there, a little quarterback.
Crawford Palmer, number 34, also in that. Hurley isolated on the right side. Pull up over to Corciani. Didn't get the roll. Foul against Crawford Palmer. Pushing on.
I'm really impressed with the performance of Feggins and Thompson out of the gate. I know Mike Krzyzewski's not impressed with the defensive effort of his team, and that's why he pulled Leitner, McCaffrey, and Hill and company.
They have 10 of the 17 points between them, and it's a 7-point lead. That was the third team foul, by the way, on Duke. North Carolina State has committed only one. Corciani's been one of my favorite players since I first saw him 4 years ago. Oh, no quitting the kid. He plays great defense, everything else.
And he plays so hard. He plays with such intensity. He just loves to play the game.
And he's become more of a scorer this year. He has raised his scoring average to nearly 19 points a game. He has 2 tonight.
He scored 3,435 in high school.
Grant Hill. Davis, offensive rebound. Grant Hill will try it again. It's a 2, and he got it.
He's silky smooth. He can't wait to get that mask off. He told me he'll get it off Saturday.
Feggins ahead of the pack, and he travels.
Feggins releasing in transition is really getting up the floor.
Showing some speed.
Les Robinson did a great job at East Tennessee State. So excited to be back at his alma mater. They presented him his jersey, number 42, at the press conference when he was named coach. Look at his points in the paint, 14 to deuce.
And it's 19-12 with exactly 14 minutes to go, first half of play.
He rotates into the zone, going to make Duke shoot the perimeter shot.
McCaffrey with a miss. Gugliotta gets the rebound after Corciani. A lot of contact, no whistle. Monroe for 3. Monroe got the rebound. He's an excellent rebounder. This is Davis, and he's tripped by Corciani.
Dick Paparo right on the call. Like, another reason for rotating into the zone defensively is it can really rest your players. And when you're only playing 5 people, that becomes a very important number. Watching minutes played and trying to keep your people from being fatigued.
McCaffrey inbounds to Leitner. Palmer wants the ball in the lane, doesn't get it.
Dump it in. They should dump it into Leitner.
Leitner against Gugliotta, and they'll call Gugliotta for blocking. That is 2 on the junior out of Huntington Station, New York.
As you said earlier so accurately, they can't afford to get any of their key big 3 in foul trouble. There's the dump down inside. He's in post position. Could have been an offensive foul.
Sure could have.
Definitely turned and made contact with that right shoulder. Tough call here. Gugliotta's basically saying, this is my living room floor. I'm not supposed to be pulled that out at home.
Leitner, 80% from the line this year. Misses the first.
This crowd is really live, but I gave my award the other day, Krzyzewskiville. I'll tell you one thing, that place was rocking, Cameron crazy. That's the best environment in all of college basketball. Pre-game, waiting for tickets, the whole bit is just so special.
Leitner hits the next shot. 19-13. Christian Leitner has 5. Has 12 double-doubles this year. Unbelievable.
He has become one of America's premier inside players.
Gugliotta forced that one. Leitner with a rebound.
Ooh, almost an elbow.
Boy, he sure did. McCaffrey. Corciani reached at him, knocked it away.
Give it up. Give it up.
Feggins to Monroe. He got it.
He gave it up to the right guy. He said, Corciani, now I know how you get all your assists.
Monroe is always the right guy. 21-13, and Feggins is really showing us something tonight.
He's playing well, really well. He doesn't look like a complimentary player tonight.
Shot clock is not working.
Donnie Gray jumps right on it, the official. 3 guys working tonight. Donnie Gray, Frank Scagliotta, Dick Paparo.
Now the shot clock has been reset to 45, and they'll have to decide.
See, I think Mr. Paparo likes this. He knows he gets some air time. He gets some TV time. Now watch here. Look at. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. You can't artificially throw the elbow.
Oh,
look at that Corciani.
He does a great job of that coming from behind.
Back to live action, 21-13. Hurley back in there in the backcourt with McCaffrey for Mike Krzyzewski. Leitner comes outside. He can shoot it from out there. Missed that one. Feggins rips another rebound.
Feggins is having his best game. I mean, he is really playing exceptional basketball.
That's his second rebound. He's had an assist, a couple of other tough plays. Monroe.
So explosive. Had 48 against Georgia Tech. He shot down the Ramblin' Wreck in the second half with 31 big ones.
He's already got 9 here, and it's 23-13.
Couldn't find the basket against Wake Forest.
Biggest lead. The thing about Monroe, he can shoot you in and shoot you out. He shot him in more often than not. Oh, that's got to be a travel, and it is. And guess who caused it? Feggins. He came out on Thomas Hill and forced him to eat it.
The concern, Mike Krzyzewski, he knows Uncle Mo right now. Momentum is certainly on the side of North Carolina State. Playing exceptional basketball offensively, defensively. The crowd is into the game.
Corciani, the only Florida State Player of the Year 2 years in a row. Field goal percentage, NC State almost 2 out of 3. Corciani got caught in the air that time. Feggins almost had it but lost it.
Mike, you know and I know they cannot sustain this. You know Duke's going to have one of their runs to get back in this game. They're playing way over their heads right now, North Carolina State.
11:49 to go first half. NC State leads by 10. 49 to go in a half. North Carolina State leads by 10.
Mike, to be a great scorer, you have to move exceptionally well without the basketball as well as with it. Rodney Monroe has been doing that in the first half, trying to get free for a shot. Take a look right here. McCaffrey's played him head-to-head. Here he is going to try to set McCaffrey off the screen. Freeze it. See, right here he has inside position. McCaffrey's beaten. There's no way he can beat Monroe right now. He beats him right to the ball, catches that ball, and shoots the jumper.
Took the ball down by 10. Hurley tried a real tough pass to Antonio Lang and threw it by him.
That's why he turns the ball over too much, is because he's always trying to make the spectacular play.
Hurley waiting for Corciani at midcourt.
Corciani looking for the screen. Bob Hurley's going third man, sliding between. Defensive player allows him to slide between.
Leitner's out on Guglielmo. That's a good matchup. Feggins, who's had a great first half, scores here.
Hey, he's playing like a superstar. He's
Has
not playing
half
like
a dozen.
He's not playing like a complimentary player.
Not at all. Hill back to Hurley for 3. Likes the top of the key.
Stepped right into the gap, shot that with confidence. There's a big gap on top against the zone defense.
Guglielmo for 3, back the other way. Lang with a rebound.
If they get a cold spurt, Duke will get right back in this game.
Corciani just doesn't give up. You beat him and he's behind you, knocking the ball away.
He's always recovering defensively.
There's a bounce pass to Lang. That's the play he missed the possession before.
Nice look by Bobby Hurley. Good catch by Lang. Lang's got great legs from out of Mobile, Alabama. Valedictorian of his class out of high school.
25-18. They cut it to 7. Turnaround jumper won't go. Rebound. Leitner.
4 on 2.
Hurley is in for Duke. Hurley, another great pass to Thomas Hill.
Thomas Hill, that explosive baseline jump. Now looks like Duke has really picked it up a notch. I thought they were very passive out of the gate.
Majen Bakali, number 22, the freshman out of Belmont, North Carolina, is into the game.
His dad is from Yugoslavia. He's a good shooter, and it is Bakali. His mother told us that in the parking lot over at Chapel Hill.
Averages about 6 points a game. Does not get a whole lot of playing time. Duke has scored the last 7 points. Feggins goes out for a moment to get a breather. Monroe back in and leans into a layup. He is not only a shooter, he's what we used to call a scorer. He can put it in from any angle.
Mike, he's moving exceptionally well without the ball. That's what's really impressing me. He's not trying to do it off the dribble move.
He has 11 points.
He's reading the defense exceptionally well to get free for his shot. Zone defense right now.
Davis to the baseline, cut off. This is Hurley. Nice pass to Lang, blocked by Thompson.
Good rotation by Thompson defensively to close off the gap.
Corciani always with his head up.
He loves playing. He'd like to play every minute of the game, and he's going to get that chance this year.
Guglielmo for 3.
Wide open. He really worked on his perimeter skills when he was in high school. He was 6'1" as a freshman and as a sophomore. And then he shot up. And then ultimately, having those perimeter skills has helped him as a collegiate.
He's a 41% three-point shooter. 30-20. Corciani knocks it away from Hurley.
I'll tell you, fire and ice. They are so beautiful to watch. Corciani is fire. Mr. Monroe is ice. The best offensive backcourt in America. The best backcourt in America has got to be UNLV for the combination of defense and offense. Anderson, Hunt, and Greg Anthony. And remember, I told you, just don't tell Vegas I'm saying it. They're going to lose their first game when they go to Arkansas and play a Barnhill Arena.
I wouldn't dare tell them. Hurley blows by Corciani, and Thompson waiting for him.
Thompson says, get it out of here, Hurley. Get it out of here, baby.
Thompson and Fagans have looked great. Gugliotta. 8 points for Gugliotta. The lead is back to 13.
Gugliotta shooting the rock. Corciani to Gugliotta. Sounds like an Italian construction company.
Leitner to Hurley. His three. Got it.
Bobby Hurley really taking a nice, relaxed jump shot tonight. Not really herky-jerky. He's smooth, and he's showing he can shoot the perimeter shot. 6
for Bob Hurley. As a team, North Carolina State shoots better than 40% three-pointers.
And they're not afraid to shoot it.
Corciani, nice fake, made contact, draws the foul from Hurley.
I mean, everywhere I look here tonight, Scagliotta refereeing, Paparo refereeing, Corciani shooting, Gugliotta rebounding, and then there's a Krzyzewski. We'll change his name to Krzyzewskino. Look at Les. That's a different look at that bench than Jimmy Valvano last year. The entrepreneur, the charismatic one.
Corciani already has 5 assists in this ball game. Averages nearly 9.5 a game.
Has no real knock on Jimmy Valvano. Corciani and the kids were telling me today in the locker room they like playing this year because of the relaxed environment. Last year with all the headlines and the negative publicity, he said it just wasn't fun coming to the arena. He said now it is fun again.
34-23. Hurley, another three. Got it.
He was a good shooter in high school. The big rap on him right now is you have to prove to us you can shoot the shot. Well, tonight he's proven that he can shoot it.
He has 9, and the lead is cut to 8 at 34-26. Monroe so quick with that first step, and what a sweet touch.
Like, there's no doubt he's going to be able to score in the NBA. 24-second clock, transition game.
13 for Rodney Monroe.
I know everybody's saying there's no way Corciani will make it. Don't bet on him not making a team in the NBA.
Hey, those are the same people that said Mark Price wouldn't make it.
They also said that Corciani wouldn't make it on a collegiate level.
Guys that play that hard make it. Hurley, that was partially blocked.
Great vision. See how his head's up all the time with the ball. Corciani always looking. Look at that.
Great pass to Thompson, blocked from behind. Monroe has it. Nice rebound to Brian Davis. McCaffrey. Hurley had the three, passed on it. Palmer will take a 12-footer. Tip, Leitner. Excuse me, Kubek.
Kubek really played an exceptional game against North Carolina.
Especially on defense. He came in and did a terrific job. 36-28.
This is an exciting game. The pace of the game is really a fan's delight.
Corciani throws that one away, and this may be a foul on Davis. No. Thought it was going to be a foul on Davis. He sort of threw his body in there. We've got a timeout with 5:54 to go. North Carolina State 36-28. Our score 39-32. North Carolina State over Duke with 3:56 to go. First half of play. We're in Reynolds Coliseum with a sellout crowd of 12,400. Duke breaking up its huddle with Mike Krzyzewski. And Christian Leitner has just become the number 17 all-time scorer in the history of Blue Devil basketball. Tonight he passed Robert Brickey and Tate Armstrong. There's a lot of other guys he's going to pass before he's done.
Tate Armstrong was an excellent guard. Robert Brickey's playing in the CBA right now.
A couple of guys like Hammonds and Mullins he's probably not going to catch.
They were fair players in their days, weren't they? During the Big Bubas era. Loved Art Heyman. You talk about a tough, competitive player. He was complete. Jeff Mullins was just a beautiful all-around player. Great shooter.
One of the nicest people I ever met. Davis on the drive. Monroe trying to draw the charge. Can't. Davis has two, and it's 39-34. Conditioning very important for this North Carolina State team. Everybody's going to play 38, 39, maybe 40 minutes. With a stack at the line. Jump ball situation. Possession arrow will give it to Duke.
They've lost a little of their rhythm. The game is not at the pace that it was earlier, and I really believe it's affected their rhythm now on the offensive end.
NC State has turned it over 7 times. Duke has committed 5 turnovers in the first half.
Mike Krzyzewski coached at West Point, played at West Point, so he has some real special interest in terms of the Middle East crisis. Many of his former teammates or officers there.
Monroe is a very good rebounder as a guard. Picks that one off. It's his 3rd. Davis working on him defensively. Offensive foul called on Monroe.
Monroe smiling at Dick Paparo, says, I'm an All-American, I'm a record breaker. Les Robinson says, I can't believe it. He's going to make that call in our own living room. Take a look right here. Where? You tell me where. Dickie Paparo, baby, you blew that one. No way in the world.
Davis, beautiful drive, blocked by Thompson. Monroe tried to swat it and keep it alive, couldn't do it. What a block by Thompson.
The one thing I like about Dick Paparo, if he blows a call, he's the first guy to say, I blew it.
Hurley down the lane. Corciani got a piece of it. And here's a foul on Thompson on the rebound. That's 2 on Kevin Thompson.
The common denominator of the point guards playing tonight is very simple. Effort, intensity, desire.
Never seen a league with so many unbelievable point guards as the ACC in the last couple of years. It's just stunning.
The best I've ever seen. In all the years I've been around basketball, I've never seen a conference have as many super point guards as this league.
I mean, not even half, Dick. You can go nearly through this entire league, and Mike Krzyzewski, I don't know what he's asking for at this point. There's 2:34 to go on the game clock. He is gesturing toward the scoreboard, and I don't know why at this point. We'll try to check on it for you. Leitner, angle pass to McCaffrey, dump down to Grant Hill. Boy, missed that one badly. Leitner, offensive rebound, lost it on the way up. Foul on Leitner. That's 2 on Christian Leitner.
Grant Hill is really affected by that mask.
I think so, too.
It really affects his shooting ability. There's the little air ball right now by Grant. Now Leitner reached over the top. Got called for the foul, reaching over. Look at Grant, his dad, who said a number of times, tremendous guy with the Baltimore Orioles, now as an administrator. Calvin
That's
Hill.
got to bother your peripheral vision. You've got to see the edges that a mask out of it.
Well, just no comfort at all wearing it.
Mike Krzyzewski, his complaint was it showed 17 fouls on the scoreboard against North Carolina State. He wanted a 1-and-1 situation. They have corrected it to show 6. It is 16 points so far from Monroe. But Collie comes back in the game. Les Robinson making a good move here. He's getting Gugliotta and his 2 personal fouls out with 2:20 left in the half. He can't afford to have anybody in foul.
They are really in big trouble when they have to go to the bench. They are so limited in personnel.
Monroe with an unusual miss from the free throw line. The score stays at 40-34.
Duke wants to get some motion now on the offensive end. They really read screens well and come off the screen low and then dump the ball inside to the boxes.
Palmer got away inside, left Kevin Thompson and got the nice pass.
That's the look I'm talking about. They do an excellent job of getting the ball to the box and really seal off really well down in the boxes.
40-36. Thompson, tough turnaround jumper, he made it.
Corciani says, I'm going to get you the ball, big fella. Do something with it.
He only averages 7.5 points a game. He already has 8. 42-36.
He and Feggins have really given him a lift tonight.
And it looks like Feggins is going to get this personal.
Looking here, they have to really find some backcourt help because losing Corciani and Monroe is going to be a nightmare. They signed one recruit, Les was telling me, Curtis Marshall from out of Omaha, Nebraska. I don't believe there are too many high school kids that can step in here and do what these two have done, especially right out of the gate.
1:36 to go first half, and now we are in a 1-and-1 situation. Hill at the free throw line has not done well this year, 56%. But at Duke, you'll get better. They always do.
Oh, I'll tell you, Mike, he's just a great talent, though. He can play 3 positions. He's very passive. I really believe there's a lot of the personality of Jimmy Jackson, who we saw with Ohio State, who has now really exerted himself a little bit more, but loves the ball at the end of the game. Jackson is such a Mr. Clutch.
3 points tonight for Grant Hill. Make it 4, and it's 42-38. Duke creeping ever closer with 1:34 to go in the half.
Remember, Duke has been really going to the bench, rotating a lot of bodies. They'll have fresh people. Big, big advantage. That helps to neutralize the home court advantage.
Davis working hard on defense against Monroe. Thompson wants the ball again in the post.
North Carolina State undefeated this year at home, 8-0.
Corciani against Hurley, backs out of a possible trap. Monroe with a runner. Boy, he's hot tonight. 19.
You know what they do really well? When Monroe is coming off behind Corciani, Corciani penetrates and is always aware that Monroe is behind him to kick the ball out once he gets help off of Monroe's man.
Corciani says he gets that look in his eye where he wants the ball, and I make sure I get it to him. McCaffrey for 3. Oh, good shot, Billy McCaffrey. He has 11.
Boy Scout troop 145, McCaffrey and Hurley. They can play with the big boys.
Yeah, they'll steal your dues from you, though. Shot clock is off. North Carolina State will play for the last shot of the half. Gugliotta's back in there.
Smart decision. Get the ball to Monroe for the last shot, or Gugliotta on the wing. Gugliotta's going to be open. Gugliotta, if they throw the skip pass, will be open for the last shot.
Got to start their offense now. On the offense, it's usually Monroe.
Oh! Great recognition by Monroe. He draws the defense to him, and he dumps it inside for the open layup.
Thompson has 10, and Monroe, everybody waiting for him to take the final shot. They were all over him, and he dumped it down low to his teammate who scored.
He made like a Corciani. He says, hey, Chrissy, baby, I can pass the ball, too.
19 on the Monroe meter, and our halftime score. North Carolina State 47, Duke 41. We're at halftime in Raleigh, where North Carolina State leads Duke 47-41 in a Big Four battle in the ACC. Welcome back, everybody. Mike Patrick, Dick Vitale. Tremendous tempo in the first half. It's a lot of fun to watch for us and the fans.
Well, it was such an up-tempo game, especially early. And you had to love the way that North Carolina State started the game if you're a North Carolina State fan, Mike. They came out, really ran the ball up the court, and the passing ability of Corciani was unreal. We take a look here at one of his assists. He catches the ball, he anticipates well, sees the trailer, dumps the ball off, and there's the little deuce by Monroe. Just a great look by Corciani. Now watch Monroe put a clinic on, moving without the ball. Here he is right now against Davis. He's going to fake one way, come back. Now he gets Davis to turn his head. Davis loses sight of the ball. Now he curls, freeze it. See, he has him beat right here. Davis is trailing the play. He's dead because Leitner has to step out. And there's the little jumper. Rodney Monroe had 19 points, put a show on. Corciani was 1 for 3, but had 7 assists and played a brilliant first half. Bob Hurley right now looking for the dump down. Now he'll step back. He's going to reverse the ball, step back, and shoot it. And he hit 3 threes in the first half. He and Billy McCaffrey kept them in a game. They had 20 points between them.
Set to go with the second half. Corciani with a bandage on his left knee. Cut himself a little bit, and both point guards have enjoyed an outstanding first half of play. 7 assists, only 2 turnovers. Hurley out on Corciani. Thompson isolated on McCaffrey. That's a mismatch. You isolate him on anybody.
They ran a little one-on-one move, got him into a one-on-one situation.
Rodney Monroe with 21 points.
He shot the ball so poorly against Wake Forest.
McCaffrey spun out on him. Followed. Monroe reached in. Let's see if Monroe gets the foul or another State play. Monroe. That's his second. Here are the stats in the first half. State shooting 60%, out-rebounding Duke.
I'll tell you one thing. I think there's a mistake there for North Carolina State in three-point field goal attempts. I had them for a better situation than that on the free throw. No, it was 3 points. 4 for 9, 7 for 10 from the free throw line.
Our guys going to make a mistake?
No, they're right on top of it. Tom McNeely and company. Are you serious? You know that name? If you're a boxing fan, remember the name. Fought against Floyd Patterson for the championship. Was on a cover of Sports Illustrated. How do I know? His son is in the truck and worked it.
Lang now has 4 points, 49-43. Tom has chosen a profession where you don't get hurt nearly as much. Feggins, who had a great first half. Monroe, baseline. Whoa, first bad shot he's taken. Hurley on the run. 4-on-2. Great pass. Jammed by Antonio Lang. Good job by Hurley.
Antonio Lang did an excellent job filling the lane in transition.
Feggins. That one was partially blocked by Lang. Hurley quickly back.
I smell a real Duke run coming, Mike. I smell a real Duke run. If you're Les Robinson, you might think about a timeout just to stop some momentum.
They are within 2. The biggest lead of the game was 13 for North Carolina State.
Biggest possession of the night thus far for North Carolina State, right here to quiet that run by Duke.
Corciani double team, nearly lost the ball, and then he's fouled. I really don't think Thomas Hill could believe Corciani was that quick. He went for the ball, Corciani got to it, and then he dove into it. That's 1 on Thomas Hill.
Corciani really loves to penetrate and then dish the ball back as opposed to forward.
Duke has never led in this game. It was tied at 2. Corciani, double clutch, got it.
They need the big basket. Corciani says, just clear the gap, and I'm going to take the big shot.
Corciani has 5.
Also, what makes he and Monroe so special, they shoot so great from the free throw line. There's Thomas Hill.
Hill with a great runner.
He is just becoming a polished player. When they recruited Hill, he was the 3rd guy after Hurley and McCaffrey in that second-year class they have, and he has now become a solid player. He's not just a role player.
Last 2 games, he had 22 against Wake, 22 against Carolina, shooting more than 70% from the floor. That was the miss by Monroe. This is McCaffrey, tries to take it all the way and does.
They just beat North Carolina State up the floor. He could have kicked it back to a trailer, but he took it by himself. Robinson has to be concerned about the status of his team right now because Uncle Mo is swinging for the side of Duke.
Billy McCaffrey has 13. We are tied at 51. Les Robinson up, says run the offense. That means Monroe.
He's getting the ball in too deep right now, Mike, and those are easy shots for him.
23 points for Rodney Monroe.
Billy McCaffrey's got to beat him to the ball a little bit more.
Soon to become the 15th all-time scorer in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Hill came in with a reputation as a defensive specialist. He has become a complete player.
Tied again at 53. Corciani isolated.
Monroe trying to post inside.
Feggins! Howard Feggins has 9. This doesn't look at all like Howard Feggins last year.
No, Bryant Feggins.
Bryant
Feggins hits that big jumper and they rotate into a 2-3 zone.
Maybe it was Howard last year. Bryant Feggins has been brilliant. Oh, great pass. Lang missed the shot. Leitner with a tip. Corciani.
Here's where Corciani excels, making decisions in transition.
3 on.
There it is. There it is. That's awesome, baby. That is awesome.
8 assists for Chris Corciani, and he hung in the air to give Feggins time to fill the lane.
And Valvano jumps out of his seat watching on TV and says, I taught him how to do that for 3 years.
Leitner, what a fake.
Good up and under move by Christian Leitner. Inside player, perimeter player.
We've got a timeout on the court. 15:57 to go in the game. State by 2.
Like as I said, Corciani does an excellent job making good decisions in transition. He excels when he's in the transition game. Here he is, drives the ball to the gap, frees it. See, right here he gets Hill to step at him, and now he's able to dump the ball as they freeze Hill, and they get the ball to Feggins along the baseline for the little layup. Tremendous poise. Now watch Leighton working on the inside. He's going to seal, spread his body, duck it. Look at the head fake. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look what you left on the floor, Mr. Thompson. You left something on the floor.
And after the play, Leighton touched the ball as it came through the hoop. He received a delay of game warning. Players will do that until the officials force him to stop it. Corciani complained because he wants to grab the ball right out of the basket and push it up court. Corciani by Hurley, dumps to Thompson.
That's another example of how Corciani is always looking for the trail man. He reads so well offensively.
Thompson with 12 points, Corciani with 9 assists.
Good move, going to the zone defense. Make Duke shoot the perimeter shot. Good anticipation, but Corciani's got the trail.
Corciani waiting until the numbers even out a little bit. That's a smart decision.
Very smart.
Gugliotta for 3.
That's even smarter. That's even smarter. Put it in the hands of the shooter, baby.
Gugliotta has 11, and the lead is back to 7 points, and that brings the crowd to its feet.
You can see the pain, the emotion on the face of Corciani.
Davis. Boy, a lot of contact. Foul on Corciani, reaching in before the bodies went flying, and that's 2 on Chris Corciani. Well, Mike Krzyzewski told us before the game, it's tough here. It always is.
Mike Krzyzewski right now, if you had to rate the 5 best coaches in the nation, he has to be one of the 5.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to talk the great 5 right now based on graduating players, running a first-class program, recruiting, you have to talk about the Lute Olsons down in Arizona, certainly Bobby Knight, John Thompson, Dean Smith, and Mike Krzyzewski.
State is on a 9-2 run. Davis hits the free throws. 62-56.
It's always a pleasure to go to practice and watch Mike Krzyzewski work. He's such a detailed guy. He breaks everything down. You can see that military background that he possesses. Really puts it to use in doing a job as a coach.
And during the Olympic Festival, I worked with him. He did color analyst on basketball, and he did an excellent job.
Yeah, that's when I was laid up after a big car accident, and I got nervous. I said, I hope Krzyzewski never gets fired. He'll take my job.
He did a great job. Look out.
I know. I'm in trouble. A lot of guys want my job, Mike.
62-57, 14:49 to go in the game. Gugliotta being guarded by Grant Hill. Here's Monroe. Tried to pass it inside. That was kicked, though. Recycled a shot for him.
He should have shot that way. And you can't tell the shooter. I mean, he's always thinking shot, but that time he tried to get a little unselfish.
He saw Leitner. I don't think he wanted any part of Christian Leitner in the lane.
He had the ball inside. With a little head fake, he could have got a foul on Leitner.
Dangerous pass, but Corciani out to get it.
Corciani uses that change of direction. Very low dribble. That's
the
deflected.
tip, so it's not a backward violation.
2 competitors going head-to-head right here. Hurley and Corciani, both coached by their dads in high school.
Corciani just sort of tossed that one up.
He couldn't believe how easy that shot was. Nobody stepped out to close off the driving angle.
Dick, you're right. He kept waiting for somebody to come to him. They didn't, so he said, why not?
He said, this is like when I played in Miami. Miami Hialeah Lakes High School.
Corciani knocked that away. Kubek got a piece of it. Corciani tries to save. Does.
He thought he was going to have an easy layup there. It should have been.
Gugliotta for 3.
He said, but why the layup? We go to the trifecta man. We go to the ravioli man, the linguine man. Mr. Lasagna, Gugliotta.
Gugliotta has 14, and State leads by 10. Almost another steal by Feggins, and it was created by Corciani.
Duke really out of sync right now. Here comes the North Carolina State crowd. They were getting on my case at halftime. They said, Dick, what about us being a live crowd, not just down at Krzyzewski-ville?
Always enjoyed coming here. It is a special place for college basketball.
That's why the ACC to me is special also. Campus environments make it so special versus the big pro arenas.
Amen. 13-23. Hurley for 3. Boy, we see some great shooting tonight.
Bob Hurley having the best shooting night of his career. Had 26 against Maryland, but really shooting the long-range jumper tonight.
Yes, a dozen. They've all come on threes. Fagans double clutch, lost it. Thompson kept it alive. Gugliotta will get called for his third.
That's a silly foul by Gugliotta. Nowhere in the world was there a possibility to get that rebound.
Boy, and Les Robinson was upset with him, too. Came off the bench, slapped his hands.
He's got to get him out, too. For a minute.
Yeah, he'll get Bakali in the game as fast as he can.
Bakali's a freshman. He's a kid that tries to give him a few minutes. He can shoot the three-point shot.
He's 6'6", 185 as opposed to Gugliotta 6'9", 230. You lose an awful lot.
Well, you lose a lot of experience. That's the big thing. See, right here, reaching over the top. You can't get away with that. There is no way. He knows it, head down. He's going to be a tremendous player, I believe, next season. Last year he was the MVP in the tournament they won out in Charlotte.
There's the three-point story. Both teams have hit 5. Crawford Palmer, number 34, is in for Duke. 12:50 to go in the game. A 7-point lead for North Carolina State. Hurley had a shot at a wide-open three, couldn't handle it. Nice move to get by Corciani. This is Palmer. Corciani from behind.
He does a great job. Best in the country at coming from behind and deflecting the ball. A lot of teams now are charting deflections because deflections is a sign of playing aggressive basketball.
He has more steals than any other player in ACC history. He broke more assists.
He broke the little guy's record. Tyrone.
Muggsy.
Bogues.
Duke does a nice job stepping out the double team. Monroe not in balance. Tossed it out. Bakali with a shot. Thompson tipped it in.
No one even lays a body on Thompson. He's inside, has great position, no blockouts at all. Look at this right here. Points with turnover 16-2. That's 8-1 the ratio.
Kevin Thompson has 12. Here's a walk. Mike Krzyzewski will need a moment to talk with his club. They're down by 9 with 11:52 to go in the game. State 69-60 over Duke, 11:52 left.
Corciani's made some great plays in this game. He really has. There's the deflection from behind. He does an excellent job of doing that all night long. He's been doing it, coming from behind.
12 assists, 4 steals, 7 points. That's not bad with 11:52 to go against one of the nation's top teams.
You know, you look at 7 points, but he's been responsible with the total of those assists. He's been responsible for a heck of a lot more than the 7 points he scored. He really uses that screen. Look at Leitner trying to step out. Had the foul. See if it should double up.
Oh, what a pass by Fagans to Thompson.
Fagans to Thompson, but you know who created that?
Corciani
by getting the double team, by having Leitner step out, created that opportunity.
16 for Kevin Thompson. It's an 11-point lead.
Corciani will not get credit for that in the stats, but I'll tell you what, he made that happen.
Leitner, they like to go to him when they need the big bucket. McCaffrey for 2. Leitner with a rebound, fouled. It won't fall for him.
That was a tremendous play right there by Christian Leitner. Going inside, getting positioning, ripping that off the glass. Les Robinson, you know, he coached, as we looked at Mike Krzyzewski, Robinson coached Corciani and Monroe in a trial situation when he was an assistant coach to Bobby Cremins, qualifying for the World Championship games. Now watch him working on the inside. One hand. Look at the great hands.
Great rebound.
Great hands.
Foul was on Fagans, his second. And Leitner misses the free throw. Only 2 players for Duke are in double figures, and it's their backcourt. McCaffrey with 13, Hurley with 12. You see Gugliotta coming back into the game. He's one of 4 NC State players in double figures. Kevin Thompson is the leading scorer besides Monroe, who has 23. Thompson with 16, Gugliotta with 14, Fagans with 11. Leitner hits the second. It's a 10-point lead with 11:09 to go in the game. Monroe. Put it in the book.
Once he gets moving and gets the momentum for that little dribble move down by the foul line area, it's like automatic.
On that break, unless he has somebody draped all over him, he's going to take the shot. Blocked by Thompson. Leitner got it, though. Corciani reached in. They'll call Corciani for the reach-in foul. That is 3 on Chris Corciani.
Most of his fouls come from reaching in. Thompson has been a defensive dynamo battling Laettner inside. Now he's going to rotate over to give some help. Excellent timing by Thompson. He's really laid a body on Laettner inside, neutralizing his tremendous talent.
Hurley to inbound to Laettner. Laettner very unselfish. He'll take it this time and put it down. 73-63.
He has that excellent soft touch. With Corciani on the floor, it neutralizes the pressure defense of Duke and really stops them from getting some steals and layups up the other end of the floor, which they do so well against most people.
Corciani off the double team to Gugliotta. Thompson kept it alive, but the rebound goes to Brian Davis.
Oh, that's a silly foul. He's got 3 fouls.
That's silly on Gugliotta, and it makes you wonder what he was thinking about.
I mean, that is absolutely not intelligent at all. He's got 3. He just comes back in the game for a minute. The play is 50 feet away from the goal. He's the most valuable player on the baseline. Googs, not a good play. Googs, not a good play here.
Well, after he made the first swipe at it, he should have forgotten it, and they're going to have to bring him out. Fagans comes back in.
That could turn this game right around. He's so valuable to this team.
Well, he's the #2 rebounder in the ACC, almost 11 a game. It really hurts him on the boards not to have him in there. Look at the team fouls. Duke has only committed 1. State is 1 away from the bonus situation. Thomas Hill.
Trying to get that good spacing, 17 feet apart.
Hurley has hit 5 3-pointers and has 15 points.
This should do wonders for his confidence in shooting the perimeter shot. Let's send a message to other coaches that you have to respect him and come out and guard him.
Coming into the game, he was only shooting 37% from 3-point range, but he has been perfect tonight. Monroe back the other way, double clutch!
It's showtime, baby. It's Rodney Monroe, and it is showtime.
And you did not give him the Windex Player of the Week when he got 48 against Georgia Tech. I thought he was robbed.
Well, I tell you what, wasn't that the week the kid got 72?
No. McCaffrey for 2. I think this kid is special. So's the one with the ball. This backcourt has been brilliant at NC State. Corciani, look at that move. Got it to Fagans. Fagans will bring it back out. Bacali for 3.
That's why he's on the floor, Bacali, to shoot the 3-point shot.
Corciani very dangerously close to his 4th foul. Hurley. Good defense prevented Laettner from the layup.
You look at the great backcourts in America. I have to rate them right behind the UNLV one, and then a tremendous backcourt down in Arkansas with Day and Mayberry and Bowers.
Corciani created another steal.
He'll make the pass. He'll make the pass. Very simple, fundamentally solid, drops the bounce pass. His daddy Gabe is in the crowd who coached him in high school, and his papa says, "That's my boy."
5 Duke turnovers in the second half, 13 assists for Chris Corciani.
I ran into his dad in the men's room before the game. He said, "Chris is really ready to play tonight." I said, when isn't he ready to play? He's always ready to play.
Always sky high. Hurley. Well, they're trying to get out on him for that jump shot because it's been so hot. Fagans got a hand on it. Off Duke, out to North Carolina State. Fagans didn't have good position, but he swatted at it.
This is the first game for Mike on a road trip. They have 4 games in a row coming up on the road.
I tell you what, he prepares the team to play as well as anybody I've ever seen.
Oh, preparation is one of his keys. Preparation, communication, and knowledge. Those 3 factors really make Mike Krzyzewski special.
And only UNLV has won more games than Duke in the last 5 years. And when people criticize him and say, well, he hasn't won the big one yet.
Wow.
I mean, how insane is that?
That is totally insanity because just the fact of going to the Final Four is special, especially in a 1-game shot. It's not 4 out of 7. Look, they're going to use some clock.
Now, this really works with them because Gugliotta on the bench with 4 fouls. Corciani has 3, so they're trying to shorten the game.
Well, they're going to shorten the game. They're going to force you to come out. 1, they're going to rest, and 2, force you to come out to check Corciani and Monroe.
Fagans with a shot clock winding down. He drilled it.
Fagans says, what about me? Gugliotta says, they don't need me right now.
Fagans has 13. The lead is back to 11.
effort. So soft. You see the way the ball just laid on that rim with that good rotation. I would do that again. I'd spread the court right now. Use the clock. Jimmy Valvano was great at doing that when he was at NC State, controlling tempo.
Especially when the other team has to try to foul because you've got Corciani and Monroe are going to handle it a lot. That's a travel call, and they're excellent free throw shooters, so you want the ball in their hands. 6:42 to go in the game. 79-70 NC State. 79-70 with 6:42 left.
Corciani executes right now in a 2-on-1 just to perfection. He stays a little wider to the lane. He makes it a 16-foot play. Freeze it. Right there, he gets McCaffrey to react. See how he's about 4 feet wider than the lane? Makes it impossible for one man to play two. How many times we see guys, they jam up in the middle. Here comes just a simple one-on-one move. I mean, that's an NBA one-on-one move, hanging double clutch a la Mr. Jordan. That's a Jordan skewed move.
Both teams shooting brilliantly in the second half. NC State 68%, Duke 65. Leitner, the go-to guy, missed it, tipped it. Off of Bakali, out of bounds to Duke. Gugliotta still is on the bench with 4 fouls. Les Robinson wanted that ball.
Les Robinson did a great job last year. East Tennessee State, they got beat the other day by Tennessee Chattanooga for only their second loss. They have a great
Build them into a national power.
They have a great player, Mr. Jennings. Look at right here, Wolfpack guards. Check those numbers out. 14 assists, 27 points for Monroe.
And this is normal. I mean, they do this all the time.
Hey, between the two of them, they scored over 6,000 points in high school.
Robinson will have to replace both of those guys. And of course, this is one of these precious recruiting games.
Well, the bloodline of a successful program, the #1 ingredient to succeed as a coach is recruiting.
Leitner.
That's a jump stop. That is
that's a great move.
That is not a walk. They wanted to walk. That is not a walk.
16 for Leitner. Speaking of point guards, Bobby Hurley has 9 assists tonight. He's already #5 all-time at Duke.
9 assists and 5 big trifectas.
79-72, and it's Monroe for 3.
McCaffrey's right in his face. There's nothing he can do when a rhythm shooter gets it going. Hey, Quorton Davis up. His second year, he had 40 in the NCAA tournament against Iowa.
Grant Hill on the line. It is a 2-pointer.
Grant Hill, one of the special diaper dandies in basketball, but the best is down at Wake Forest. Rodney Rogers. He is the best right now I have seen in America. Sean Bradley, certainly a shot-blocking wizard. Bradley at BYU is right there as well.
Corciani is there, not in the spread right now. Corciani tossed it up in the lane. Leitner swinging those elbows again. Thompson in his face, and Leitner had the ball partially blocked. Out of bounds, it's out to North Carolina State.
Mike Krzyzewski says he's grabbing his arm. He's grabbing his arm.
Next in most areas, Pitt against Providence. The Panthers 17th ranked in the nation. The crowd you hear in the background cheering as Gugliotta comes back into the game with 4 personal fouls. He comes back in with 5:12 on the clock and an 8-point lead.
If Duke gets the score here and they get the ball back, NC State, I would go to the spread. Thanks, Gagliotta. Mike Krzyzewski, calm as can be on that sideline, intense though within himself.
Shot clock, by the way, is that was what they were looking at. It recycled to 45 seconds. They put it back at 38. Here is a miss and a blocking foul called underneath as Grant Hill went in. Foul was on Corciani. That's 4 on Corciani.
Corciani and Gugliotta with 4 now. They really falter when he goes to the sideline because trying to replace a point guard, especially down the stretch. And as we mentioned earlier, he and Monroe are career 81% free throw shooters.
And Duke is so good at drawing charges when Corciani tries to penetrate down the lane. Watch for somebody to step out and try to get his fifth. Grant Hill got the roll.
That's all the more I would go to the spread offense now. With Gugliotta with 4, with Corciani with 4, I would go to that spread and then isolate a Corciani or a Monroe in a one-on-one situation after you run the clock down.
Grant Hill with 7 points. Got the roll again. 82-76, 5:06 to go in the game.
I wouldn't go to a complete stall, but I would spread and go into a one-on-one situation with Corciani and Monroe after using clock.
Hurley staying right on. Monroe isolated against McCaffrey.
Corciani drifts away so they can't give help.
Feggins passed on the shot. He traveled.
Starting to break down right now. You might have to think about a timeout to settle him down, go over strategy.
And as brilliantly as he's played tonight, I don't think they want Howard Feggins taking that move, taking the shot.
You must be in love with Howard Feggins. Brian Feggins.
Brian, I apologize to you. I'm sorry. You're having a great night, and I'm calling your name wrong.
You must know a guy named Howard.
I must. Leitner, there he walked.
He walked that
the
time.
Crowd asked for it. Then he stopped and took 2 more steps.
He lifted his pivot foot in that situation. He lifted. Now he's in triple threat position. He can pass. See, they takes the extra step. Right here. Yeah. There's the extra step.
Antonio Lang goes out. Davis comes back in. 4:28 to go. 82-76. Keep in mind that North Carolina State has lost only 1 game in the ACC, as has Duke and North Carolina. So this is a battle for a share of first place.
Well, they're also proving that on their own living room floor. You're going to really have to be tough to get a W. They're 8-0 here.
Trying to work some time off the clock. Down to 4:07. Don't be surprised if Monroe shoots no matter what. Foul on the way out.
Hurt his ankle a little bit, too. Hurt his foot. All-time leading scorer in high school in the state of Maryland.
Dick, he has an outside chance of catching Dickie Hemrick, who's the all-time ACC scoring leader. He would need to average 33.5 points a game for the 15 games that they have left on their schedule, but you have to believe they're going to go a little bit further than that. And it's not out of sight to see Monroe average 33 a game either.
No, he's very capable of that. There's no question.
More than 20 in his last 21 games.
Came off the bench as a freshman.
Only needs 2 more points to pass Dennis Scott for number 15 all-time in the ACC.
You think about all the great guards that played at NC State. Remember the combination with Lowe and Wittenberg to win that championship in '83. Speaking of Wittenberg, he's an assistant now. He and Tommy Abatamarco with Joey Harrington. And they had that big win. I watched it, Colorado. They have arrived in basketball over Nebraska.
He's a nice young man, too.
Doesn't shock me with Joey Harrington. He's just a builder of programs.
84-76, Grant Hill with a spinning move, and they're pointing for a foul. They're talking to Corciani. I think it's on Feggins, and it will be. That's 3 on Feggins.
Grant Hill has excellent one-on-one ability. He can also play the point guard position because he passes so well. Poor young man playing with a broken nose. Got that in a practice situation. Antonio Lang caught him, and it was a Sunday after they were beaten by Virginia. They brought him back, had some practice. Mike was very upset with their performance. They were blown out down at Charlottesville.
Grant Hill misses his first free throw of the night. He had hit the first 4. It is an 8-point game with 3:50 to go.
He told us before the game that this is a tough place to win. 4 games in a row on the road. Like Ohio State now has 2 more on the road. Minnesota, and then a big game on ESPN. I mean a big game with Michigan State and Steve Smith.
84-77, we've got a timeout on the court. 3:50 left from Reynolds Coliseum. 3 minutes, 50 seconds to go. North Carolina State at home, leading Duke 84-77. Mike Patrick and Dick Vitale with you. The storyline, if you joined us late, Duke has never led in this ball game. Bobby Hurley with a brilliant effort out of the backcourt. 15 points, 9 assists. State has dominated inside, and Thompson, averaging 7.5 points a game, has 16 tonight. His front court teammate Bryant Feggins has also played brilliantly, and the guard combination of Corciani and Monroe has been outstanding as usual.
What really helped North Carolina State was getting the start out of Feggins and Thompson.
Gugliotta pushed out of bounds. The foul will be on Grant Hill.
Somebody's yelling forced out. There's no such play as a force out. He was pushed out.
Well, you either call a foul or you say he fell out of bounds, one or the other.
Well, they're not in a penalty, so they can really play aggressive defense right now. Go for the steal and really play aggressive. They only have right now 3 team fouls.
So they have 3 more to give in the last 3.5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, so they can really try in a one-on-one situation for the steal. I would spread the court, use the clock.
Both teams have 3 timeouts left. Corciani looks to see if the official is counting on the 5-second clock. If he is, he moves. Monroe had it knocked out of bounds. The foul on Thomas Hill.
Well, again, good foul. They can really go for the steal. They can play aggressive right now, hoping that maybe they can get away with one.
The only thing it does, it recycles the shot clock to 45 seconds.
Well, if they don't take advantage of it in terms of trying to use the full shot clock, I would bring it out, put it in Corciani's hands, and use that shot clock.
Hurley doing a great job to prevent him from getting the ball.
He denied him. See, now they got a one-on-one with Monroe. Bring it back out.
Shot clock at 34, plenty of time. Corciani got by. He's fouled by Hurley. That'll be before the shot. It's only 2 on Hurley. And that's only the 15th foul against Duke.
This foul's on Hurley, number 11, his second.
You're always going to be competitive. I really believe when you have great guard play in college basketball, you have a chance to win. And that's the one ingredient that Valvano did leave here, a tremendous backcourt.
You may not be able to beat up the physical teams all the time, but you got a guy like Monroe and Corciani, they'll give you a shot to beat people. The officials step in and tell them not so much shoving in that stack.
They're in the I formation, a little stack, a little screen.
Shot clock again back at 45, and we're under 3 minutes.
Gugliotta has good perimeter skills, so in a spread offense, they can be so effective. See, they're spreading, getting good spacing. Not your typical 4 corners, but it's a spread.
Shot clock in the lower left part of your screen. Monroe, that's a tough pass, and it's picked off by Grant Hill.
Not a good decision by Rodney Monroe.
They had more time to work off the clock. Leitner for 3. Corciani with a rebound.
Not a good possession right there by Duke. Let's see the possession right now by NC State.
What a move by Corciani to spin away from the double team.
Always has vision and sees the possible double team.
Thompson had it knocked away, but Gugliotta got it, and Leitner fouled.
Still not in the bonus.
Leitner. That's the 6th team foul. The next one, they'll go to the line.
And remember, when they go to the line, it's amazing when you look at the career stats of Corciani and Monroe. Both guys shooting better than 80% on a free throw line.
There's one thing to bring up about this. North Carolina State started so badly from the free throw line this year, but they have really gotten better lately. 76% from the line in the last 8. And in ACC games, they're shooting nearly 82% as a team. State will use a timeout. They stop the clock with 2:04 to go. It's 84-77 Wolfpack. 2 minutes, 4 seconds to play in Raleigh, North Carolina. NC State over Duke, 84-77. State has led the entire way. They've led by as many as 13. Right now it's a 7-point lead. Both teams have gone into the bonus situation. And State will have the ball with 37 seconds on the shot clock, trying to work more time off the scoreboard. It was last tied at 53.
You know, you look at their losses on the road. I mean, a lot of people are going to lose to those teams. As we look here at the timeouts, Duke with 3, NC State with 2, fouls to give, Duke none, NC State none, possession arrow to Duke. But think about it, they lose on the road to East Tennessee State. That had to hurt. That had to hurt for Mr. Robinson, his former school. There's a foul on the steal. He wants the intentional, but not an intentional. It'll be a 1-on-1. They lose to Syracuse at Syracuse. They lose to Kansas, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, one of my favorite chants. And they lose to Wake Forest. All on the road.
McCaffrey checks back in as Mike Krzyzewski goes offense, defense. They'll send Feggins to the line. He has 13 points. He's hit 3 out of 4 free throws and is the best free throw shooter on the North Carolina State team, 90.9%. As a team, they've hit 9 of 12 tonight.
Great personality. Speaking of him in the locker room, big basketball junkie. Says he loves watching all the games on ESPN. He should do a little PR. Excellent.
I've called him Howard 3 times tonight. I'm going to be afraid to go up to him. 14 points for Bryant Feggins out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He can make it a 9-point lead.
Played in high school with Kevin Thompson, his teammate at Glenn High School.
How would you like to play them in high school?
Wow. I would go to a zone right now. I'd zone here. I wouldn't play man-to-man.
86-77. Leitner. Nice move by Christian Leitner. Good trying to get a timeout. They can't, or can they? Dick Paparo said they did.
Dick Paparo gives them the timeout. The reason I would go to the zone because the zone slows up the game.
Boy, Les Robinson complaining about it, too, because he thought the ball was inbounded.
There's a drive by Leitner, stays low, hangs in the air. Great body control for a guy 6'10". They claim they got the TO as soon as he scored. Coaches right now work on strategy. They work on basically reminding their players of matchups, of the kind of defense you want to play. What do we do when we get the ball after we play on a defensive end? What do we do now with the ball? How we want to utilize the clock. There's so much going on in a timeout.
When you were in that situation, did the players listen to you?
I hope they did, but they couldn't understand me. I was going 5 million miles a minute. I was so emotional. That's why I belong in TV, where I'm very calm, I'm very cool.
Yes. Political offices. Coaches are always looking for who they should foul in a situation like this. Thompson will probably not get his hands on the ball.
The two guys are going to have the ball, a foul of Corciani and Monroe. They hope maybe to get Gugliotta with that 57%.
But he's shot better in the last few ball games.
Yeah, he's a much better shooter than that. Here comes the trap.
They don't want to foul Monroe, but they may have to.
Don't need points right now. They just need time. They just have to run time down.
Monroe stolen by Leitner. And Leitner thought he was fouled, and so did I. He looked like he was tripped by Monroe.
I think he tripped on his own foot, Mike. I'm not sure. I'm one-eyed. I can't see that well. But I thought that he tripped on his own foot.
See if we can tell.
Here comes the strip. He deflects the ball. He deflects the ball. Now he gets it.
Now, contact by Monroe. I don't know if you call that a foul or not.
I think that is a no call.
It costs Duke possession of the ball, and then they have to commit a personal foul.
And the guy going to the line is usually automatic in these situations. He wants to shoot it. He feels it. He's that kind of player. He wants to rock late.
The numbers, unfortunately, tonight. He has 8 points, 81% free throw shooter.
The only guy to win Mr. Basketball in the state of Florida 2 consecutive years.
Not known as a scorer until this year. He scored more points in Florida than anybody ever had.
No one had a chance to recruit him once Valvano walked in that house and started speaking Italian to the mother and father.
88-79 with 6 left. Duke has to hit the three, and Hurley has hit 6 of them tonight.
And he made a great defensive deflection right there.
Bobby Hurley with 18 points, all long-range three-pointers.
You get the feeling with Duke. Most clubs right now, it would be over. But right now, this game is not over with the way Duke plays.
88-82. Monroe trying to beat Grant Hill up the sideline. Blocking foul, Grant Hill.
Defensive player must be established initially in legal defensive position. But, you know, a lot of people don't understand that you could be moving on a defensive end and still be able to draw the charge.
This is the other guy you don't want to foul.
Those are the two guys that are going to have the ball. If they don't have the ball in their hands late in the game, somebody should ask for an investigation immediately.
3 out of 4 from the line tonight for Rodney Monroe. 32 points. One more, he would pass Dennis Scott for number 15 all-time scorer in the ACC.
He strokes that. Hey, I got to quickly get one out of you. Quickly, while we're here. You're a big football guy. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I like Buffalo a little.
Oh, I like Buffalo big. I really do. I think Kelly and Bruce Smith. I'm going to it. I can't wait. I'm going to my first Super Bowl.
All right, now I like both teams, but I think Buffalo has
shoot the three. Bob Hurley's got 6 of them. Try for 7.
And a rebound for NC State. Monroe. Beggins. 2 seconds. 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 Feggins really didn't help his teammate out very much. He was tied up with him, and he bounced it off Leitner.
Mr. Patrick, tune up the bus, baby. Take it back to Durham because this game belongs to NC State. They will not be denied tonight. And Mike Krzyzewski, I know, has to feel a little bit disappointed with the initial play of his team early in the game. They were very passive early, then turned it on, but it was too late.
State has a 7-point lead in the ball with 55 seconds to go. Leitner fouled, and he missed the shot. What a great job by Christian Leitner. He's made 2 brilliant steals in the last 30 seconds.
He's got those long arms. He anticipates well. He's a good free throw shooter. Stops the clock.
Foul was on Monroe, his 3rd, so Leitner will go to the line. He'll have a chance to cut it to 5.
Maybe the bus driver didn't get to the bus just yet.
I was going to say, maybe a little early.
Maybe.
18 points for Christian Leitner. He is 2 out of 4 from the line, however.
They come back and win this game. This would be remarkable.
Leitner has 7 rebounds to go with those points. Les Robinson was trying to get a timeout. Still is. Leitner got the second one, 89-84. Nobody saw his request for a timeout. Feggins ahead of the pack. That may do it.
Turn on the engine, Mr. Bus Driver. Turn it on.
Leitner for 3.
Oh, wait a minute. Leitner says no. Turn the engine off.
Now what a shot.
Turn the engine off.
Christian Leitner, he has just shown you all of his game tonight.
What he's doing now late in the game reminded me so much of what we've seen with Calvert Chaney making that run for Indiana against Ohio State. Look at Les Robinson. Look at Les. Look at Les. Get back. Get back. Get back. Come on. Hurry up. Get back and let's get in 1 defense. Get back.
This is a huge game for him. It would take him to 3-1 in the ACC. Duke has 1 timeout left. North Carolina State has 2. Duke, NC State, and North Carolina have each lost 1 game in the conference. North Carolina is playing at Wake Forest later on this evening.
Les Robinson has really made a good impression right out of the gate in his first year as a coach.
Sure has.
He really has impressed a lot of people here at NC State. Very well liked.
Well, he loves the school.
Oh, loves it. He said,
played here and coached here under Everett Case.
He said, they'll have to put me out of here. There's no way I'll even think of wanting to leave here.
91-87, Duke looking for another steal. Monroe. Gugliotta ahead to Feggins. They don't need the point, so he holds
Just
up.
spread the court, get the ball in Corciani's hands, Monroe's hands. He's getting himself in a trapping position.
And they did get the timeout. That's very fortunate.
That's exactly where you do not want the basketball because you have no reverse pass because it's a backcourt violation if you try to make the reverse in a trapping situation.
Of course, he did wind some time off the clock. 25.4 left.
Still need 2 possessions for Duke unless you foul him shooting a 3, and stranger things have happened. Pitt versus Providence
coming up next.
This has been great, Mike. The last few games we have had, I mean, it's just been incredible. Awesome.
Had some beauties, haven't we?
We've had some great games, a lot of intensity, emotion.
Well, doing the games we're doing, Dick, the ACC and the Big Ten, if we can't find good players, good coaches, great stadiums, and intensity, we're looking in the wrong place.
Exactly. The both things about both conferences, that the arenas are right on campus, and the students are so much part of it, as opposed to, and I don't mean to knock the Landover where Georgetown plays, but to me that's almost like a pro environment versus the campus environment that exists at Duke, at North Carolina State, Michigan, Indiana. Look at the standings here. Duke 4-1. Some good clubs in this conference.
Well, you're, as you see the rest, Georgia Tech certainly not out of it.
Clemson having a tough year. Maryland, you talk about a tough luck coach. Gary Williams loses Mustaf to start the season to the NBA. Walter Williams goes down, but yet his team still keep clawing and battling because they reflect his personality.
He's a terrific coach. He'll win, no doubt.
Don't need any points. You spread the court. Watch the lob pass. pass.
Monroe fouled by Leitner, who has certainly done everything he can. Picks up his 4th personal with 17 seconds to go, and this could ice it.
Christian Leitner is a star, a real star.
Monroe will get 2 shots.
I met his daughter today, Kelly, at the hotel where we were staying. She asked for an autograph. And then she says, you know what? You know who my dad is? I said, who? She said, Coach Robinson. She's going to go to graduate school next year here.
Monroe with 33 points tonight.
I really said to her, please ask me for an autograph. Nobody's asked me for the last few hours, and I'm really hurt.
Hey, if 15 minutes goes by and nobody asked you.
When I'm at the airport, if nobody recognizes me, I put a sign in the back. My name is Dick Vitale. Will you please ask for an autograph?
I've heard you paid yourself.
No, you know better than that. This guy's tough on a free throw line late in the game. He and Corciani have been doing it throughout their entire career. 80% or better.
They need the 3.
They're playing good perimeter defense right now, locking up on them.
Hurley's got to get it off.
Perimeter defense. Look at this, right in their face on the perimeter. No wide open shots. Great defense.
Partially blocked, and they'll call the foul. Monroe thought he got all ball.
Oh, that hurt.
That was a 3-point shot. It's 3 free throws.
Les Robinson can't believe it. Great perimeter defense. He smells the W. Look at him. He knows it. He knows he has the W. Look at this wacko.
4th foul on Monroe, and they say he was inside the line, so it is a 2 free throw situation, which makes me ask you this. Well, there's 2.8 seconds left. You try to make the first one and intentionally miss the second.
Basically, you got to think that, Mike. I really think now you're searching and grasping. There's no way that NC State should lose this game.
Now they may be saying 3 again. That's only the 2nd free throw Kubek has missed this year.
The bus is heated up. It's ready to roll. They got 4 games now on a road. 3 after tonight. Duke does.
Kubek does get 2 more, we're told. Now that would have been a situation you make the first 2 and try to miss the 3rd.
And get the ball
you're in
got a
business.
3-point. Yeah, got a 3-point attack.
Could end up with a 5 or 6 point play. But you only have 2.8 seconds left. The lead is 5. And they would need something of a minor miracle. If I was NC State, the ball comes off the rim, I stand there.
Exactly. Don't play. Don't guard anyone. Don't guard anyone. Oh, he makes it.
Less than 3 seconds to go. A 4-point game. All North Carolina State has to do is get it inbound and bounce it once.
Just throw the ball in the middle of the court. I wouldn't throw it under the basket.
Knocked out of bounds. No, that's not the right place.
Just throw the ball to mid-court. Let them steal it. Let them do whatever they want. Just throw the ball to mid-court.
They toss it in. Thomas Hill got a hand on it. What's the call? Is it a foul? I believe on Hill it is. With 2.3 seconds left. Now you can warm up the bus.
I'll tell you, Mike, so tough to win on the road in college basketball. The emotion, the crowd is so important to the play of the team, the comfort zone. Mike Krzyzewski talking to Dick Paparo, Dick listening. He's one of the referees that will listen to a coach. Bobby Knight told me that the other day. So the reason I like the guy is he'll come over and he'll listen to you.
Corciani just adding to the total. 10 points for Corciani.
Pittsburgh with Jason Matthews, Sean Miller going against Eric Murdoch. Murdoch's been a defensive demon, an unbelievable scorer.
Corciani, 11 points, 14 assists.
Big W for NC State after their poor performance over Wake Forest. Had a little morale boost for Monday, beating Marquette. There's Les Robinson walking over to Mike Krzyzewski. He's got to feel like $1 million tonight. Coach Robinson, you did a tremendous job. Your game plan, your execution, and wow, did his kids come to play. Feggins and Thompson started it right out of the gate, and then it was fire and ice.
The starting 5 was terrific, and North Carolina State wins a huge game by 6. For Dick Vitale and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching.